In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 levels of rifling ranging from beginner to godlike aimers from the likes of Shroud, Cryo, Subroza, and Trent. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what you have to do to become an aim god in Valorant and start dominating the competition. To start off, take a look at this Platinum 3 player. Take note of how they take their gunfights. They're not horrible by any means, but there's definitely a bit of an amateur level to their gameplay.
Flash. 30 seconds left. One enemy remaining.
You might notice our hero in this clip still crouch sprays in every gunfight, but he clearly knows how to peek angles. Now, his crosshair placement, it's not perfect, but he's peeking every angle with intent, and only really using A and D when swinging enemies. He even works in a small little pop-in swing in the second kill. Our Reyna player uses utility effectively in the round, to both gather information as well as make his peek safer, which just showcases his comfort while playing Reyna, as well as his awareness in the round. It seems like he has confidence in his gameplay, which is great, even if it's accompanied by some bad habits or lazy crosshair placement. Now, the next thing for this player to do would likely be focusing on breaking this crouching habit. Crouch spraying like this just makes you an easy target. With Reyna, it can be a bit more forgiving due to your ability to dismiss, but still, it'll always be best to practice proper mechanics and strafing in your gunfights to really give yourself a chance in every round. There's never really a time where you won't benefit from a little extra deathmatch as a player, and in this Reyna's case, they likely need to spend quite a bit more time practicing their movement while fighting. They've definitely got the peaks down. Now they just have to learn to fight in the open, and they're gonna absolutely crush it. Oh yeah, their crosshair placement could use a little bit of work, but that'll come with time. In our next clip, we're going to showcase what it looks like when you combine this sort of confidence and awareness with good crosshair placement and discipline. We're going to take a look at one of my clips. I'm currently an Immortal 3 ranked player, and this took place in one of my recent matches. You may be feeling like these clips are moving really fast, but to keep things interesting, we started with Plat, because it's difficult to say any players below Plat has really gotten a good grasp on rifling. Now, I would not consider myself an expert rifler, but I'm pretty decent, and I think I'm a good model of a level of play that anyone's capable of reaching. Starting out this clip immediately, you'll see a stark difference between how I take gunfights versus how the last player took gunfights.
Out of charges. Flash out.
I know exactly where you are.
Last player standing.
Time to jump.
One enemy remaining.
Fake teleport.
I heard the enemy KO approaching loudly as I was planting the spike, and I quickly hit him with a strafe and pre-fired his location. This sort of rifling comes from hours of practice and game sense. You can only pull something like this off if you're really familiar with the angles and comfortable with the gun mechanics in game. You'll also notice I incorporate a tactic we didn't see in any of the other clips. I actually ADS and go for some tap fires on the rafters player as well. ADS can be an awesome tactic for rifling when using tap fires, and you're actually starting to see a lot more high rank players take advantage of ADS at further ranges like this. Alas though, this might have actually been my first mistake in the round, because while I was tunneling on this kill, my enemies actually were getting pressured in A main. Had I been more prepared, I probably could have traded out my KO here to make this round a little less close. That being said, pay attention to how my crosshair moves around during this clutch. The way it moves between each angle I'm about to fight with the confidence of a player who's played through hundreds of rounds similar to this one. When we compare this clip to the pro player, you might actually notice, however, I move my crosshair a bit more than they do. While most of my movements do have a purpose, and my crosshair placement and movement is definitely better than the last clip, It's likely I'm overcomplicating this clutch, resulting in many unnecessary inputs. Still though, as you can imagine, if I attempted to crouch spray, similar to how the Reyna did in the last clip, I'd instantly get traded out against these players. It's very important that every single one of my duels during this round is as fast as possible, and I'm constantly on the move. Otherwise, it's very likely I would not survive the round. Not only that, but it's also important that I'm unpredictable with my movement, and never peek an angle the exact same way. You'll notice after I land the kill onto the Yoru, rather than swinging the Cypher again, instead I peek to my right afterwards. Then, after jiggling my right, I throw a flash before peeking again to mix it up. I've already peeked left, and I've already peeked right, so both of these players know exactly where I am and are prepared for me to peek again. You need to mix up your peeks, otherwise you'll be far too predictable and make it too easy for your opponents. Now, this flash specifically is placed in the perfect location to blind both of the remaining enemies in this clutch, not only buying me time on my left, but also allowing me to have a very deadly peek on the harbor on my right. The messiest part of this clutch by far is the very end when I actually run and gun a little bit after not landing the frag onto Cypher. At this point, the round is pretty much won, but a better player likely would have stayed cool, calm, and collected during this moment, which still leaves room for improvement with my gunplay. I still haven't mastered the art of staying calm during these rounds. My emotions sometimes do get the best of me, and it results in me just panicking at some points. When we look at the next player, you're gonna see how it looks to always be in control of your gameplay. If you're looking to achieve gameplay like mine, the first step is gonna be maximizing the value of each of your bullets. Now, as we mentioned, crouch spraying in a round like this would probably result in immediate death. So you need to make sure that each shot counts. To practice this, we recommend loading up Eliminate 100 bots in the range, and practicing your one taps on these bots in the range. Strafe from left to right, and just tap fire to each target and go for headshots. You'll likely want to develop some sort of Kovacs routine too if you're really looking to improve your aim to land these shots. It doesn't need to be anything crazy, just something that helps you train the skills that'll round out your aim in-game. We have a skill-capped aim routine on Kovacs that you're welcome to use, and it's perfectly serviceable. Mentally, try to train yourself when you peek an angle to at least have an idea of what you're looking for. Who's your target? What's the reason you're peeking? Each peek I perform in this round is intentional, and I know what kills I'm looking for. All the best riflers are able to visualize what's on the other side of a wall and prepare themselves mentally for each fight. When we take a look at the pro player next, try to keep all these things in mind, but also keep an eye out for how they almost even simplify the game. The movements in my clip were rapid, and while I did move with confidence, my inputs could have definitely been a little more precise. Before we move on to our expert though, remember, if you're looking to climb the ranks and really improve your aim, I'd say it's about time you checked out our Aim God course over at SkillCapped. In our hour-long masterclass, we'll get you caught up to speed and teach you everything there is to know about developing a mortal-level aim in Valorant. We'll help you learn all the pitfalls players normally fall into and how to maximize your accuracy and consistency in-game to carry more matches. This course took me over a month to take, and it's packed full of everything you need to carry yourself in Valorant and become the aimer you're capable of being. A lot of people probably can't imagine a world where they're dropping 30 in matches on the daily, but with this course, we'll get you caught up to speed really fast. So, if you're really looking to rank up, be sure to check out SkillCapped with the link in the description below, and we'll see you there. Other than that, let's get into our next clip. For our expert, let's take a look at a recent clip from FPS legend Shroud. While Shroud's not an active competitive player, he indisputably has more hours in FPS games than almost every other gamer on the planet, making him an excellent player to set the standard for what an expert rifler might look like in Valorant. Now, when you watch Shroud, you're gonna notice a lot of the same techniques from our last clip, but far more refined and composed, even when Shroud might be a bit caught off guard.
I think they're secret here. One jump putting back to the secret. Pushing me close, secret.
I'm gonna wall him.
Secret. I think two people.
Last player standing.
What are you on, Ty? He's firing now.
Remaining.
To start out this clutch, let's talk about his first peek into A main. Shroud first peeks this angle looking to take a fight, but after missing his shot, he needs to fall back. If Shroud can get a kill here, that's amazing, but you'll notice he doesn't commit to this fight, because it's pretty likely someone's already trying to trade him out right now. This is why you'll see he starts immediately looking for the trade player after taking cover. Similar to this last clip, every fight Shroud takes this round needs to be quick. He can't spend too long fighting one opponent, otherwise he'll absolutely get overwhelmed. This first kill, it's nothing special, but what sticks out as phenomenal in this clip is how Shroud rides the momentum in the round, taking gunfight after gunfight without skipping a beat. And there's kind of a rhythm to each fight. He'll take a few steps, and then as soon as he sees a player, he'll instantly stop, flick, and shoot. If you compare this to other players, like in the last clip, he's not running around swinging the crosshair everywhere. It's actually methodical. Especially when you're 1v5, you should expect every angle you peek to have a player ready to fight you. You'll notice, even when the second player peeks him from a location he might not expect, Shroud doesn't actually spray or panic, but rather he fires off a few single bullets to secure the kill on the enemy player. Now, Shroud does actually utilize crouching during this clutch, which is something you didn't see in the last clip, but he deliberately only crouches during the fights with Astra and Viper, when he's caught in the open with no other choice but to fight. This is the mark of a player who's in control of his actions. He's disciplined with his gunplay and only fires as many bullets as he needs. He only crouches when it's smart to do so and only peeks the angles he wants to peek. On the surface, it might seem like Shroud's taking all these gunfights out in the open, but if you look just a little deeper, you can see how he's expertly using this wall to his right to help him isolate each fight. When he spams the smoke to his left, which by the way is just insane game sense, he's hugged as close to the wall as possible, so that nobody in A main could get a sightline on him even if they had pushed the harbor smoke. And you'll even notice when he takes the fight with a Killjoy, he doesn't continue to swing out wider, knowing a player could be there to pick up or trade if he overextends. This is precise, and this is intentional. When we compare this to the last clip, even though I knew what I had to do in the clutch and I had the mechanics to pull it off, I still panicked. Specifically on that first peek in A main, you'll notice how I run and gun and potentially miss out on a crucial frag. Then at the end of the clutch as I run and gun versus the Cypher, it's clear to see I'm not 100% in control of my actions. I'm panicking and it shows. I mentioned I've been in these clutches hundreds of times. In Shroud's case, he's been in them thousands of times. And you can tell by his reaction afterwards. He's not freaking out, he's not sweating, he's just surprised they let him do that. If you're aspiring to become an expert in rifling, you've got your work cut out for you, because the key here is discipline. You need to be in control of your actions, and I know many players struggle with this. For you to play at this level though, you need to master every mechanic, and then you've got to know when to use them. Unfortunately, we can't teach you all these concepts in just one video. So if you're really looking to improve, we recommend checking out our Become an Aim God course over at SkillCapped. To finish off this video, where do we go from here? Believe it or not, there are players way better than Shroud. He doesn't even play professionally, and we've only covered the tip of the iceberg in this video. Finally, for our pro level of rifling. Honestly, it was too difficult to just choose one clip. There have been some incredible showcases of skill in the Valorant community, starting out with a recent example from 100 Thieves Cryo.
They're going to be favored. Positioning, it's not good. Cryo constantly having to adjust. He's finding his one more down. Still falls to fall.
Notice his precision during such a hectic moment in the round, or even his reaction afterwards. Cryo is in control right now. He's dodging a harbor ult while expertly repositioning around default and isolating every gunfight. Although in that Shroud clip he did manage to successfully isolate all those gunfights, the enemies weren't exactly barreling down on him like this. So Cryo's playing against just an incredible team. They're trained to trade each other out consistently, but he's still able to punish them for the smallest of errors. If both these swings backside come at the same time, Cryo for sure loses. But because of Cryo's precision, he was able to punish even the slightest error in timing on their swings and win the round. Similar to Shroud, notice how he's not panicking with his bullets. On that last raise kill, Simple fires off a few single bullets and closes out the round in an unbelievable fashion. Cryo is one of the best riflers in the game, without a doubt. But there's still clips just as outrageous as this that are honestly hard to even compare. Let's take a peek at an oldie but a goodie. Subroza is well known for his spray transfers, which is something we haven't showcased in this video yet.
Oh, yeah, ult and I'll go with it. Okay, I'll go with it when they tap, okay?
I'll tap. I'll tap.
Go.
Hit two.
One enemy remaining.
How could you have a rifling video without showcasing the art of spray transferring? Well, part of the reason is there's a bit of RNG to spraying. So it's a lot better to train the discipline to tap fire than it is to attempt this sort of stuff when you're less experienced. but once you've mastered the art of control, you can pull off some pretty crazy things. In this clip, Subroza lands 4 kills without ever releasing his fire, and he actually does a lot of this while crouch moving to keep himself alive in the process. Crouch moving is largely different than just straight running. It'll keep him far more accurate while spraying, but the beauty in all of this is how he snaps between each target so seamlessly. If you want to master spray transferring like this, it's important that you still take advantage of the first few bullets you fire. Remember, as you spray, your bullets become less and less accurate, meaning you want to get that first kill as quickly as possible. You'll notice Subroza's first kill comes with the first 5 bullets, meaning that when he switched to the Jet who was actually closer than the first target, he's still relatively accurate. The 3rd and 4th kills are far less likely to connect, which is why after Subroza had dodged the Jet knives, he stops moving and quickly focuses on his spray to land the final 2 kills. Admittedly, there is a bit of RNG to this, and sprays like this won't always connect. But considering players like Subroza can pull off sprays like this game after game, there's absolutely an art to it. As we mentioned though, if you want to master this skill, it's important to really maximize that first shot accuracy. When you look at this clip from another pro rifler, Trent, you'll notice how both his spray transfers in this clip occur within the first few bullets of the spray.
Last player standing.
Guard Trent moment.
One enemy remaining.
While the Raze kill was probably a bit accidental, it's still the same idea. In order to spray transfer effectively, it has to occur early on in the spray. Otherwise, you're just gambling. Remember though, if you want to do this, first you gotta follow all the steps we mentioned before. You can't just start spray transferring if first you haven't mastered discipline. The art of rifling is as much a mental game as it is a physical one, and if you're constantly at war with your mind, you'll never be able to master your aim in Valorant. We can help you though. Over at SkillCapped, we've put together the perfect course to bring your aim up to par in Valorant. Now, we can't promise to turn you into the likes of Subroza, Trent, or Cryo, but we can get you up to an immortal level where you'll start competing with players just like him. There's an incredible amount of theory that goes into aiming. It's a lot more than just monkey see, monkey shoot. You have to master crosshair placement, movement, peaks, angles, recoil, the whole shebang. But with our hyper improvement system, we're gonna get you climbing in no time, so you can just skip the part where you suck and get to the part where you start winning. Nobody likes being low ranked in games, and it might be hard to believe, but in just a few short months, we could increase your rank by over 3 whole divisions. With our site subscription, not only will you get access to all of our courses that are quality assured by some of the best in the biz, but you'll also get access to a free VOD review every single month on our Discord from our elite coaching staff. And if we don't help you improve, you'll get your money back. No questions asked. So what are you waiting for? You've got nothing to lose. Check out SkillCapped with the link in the description below, and we'll see you there. That's gonna do it for this video though. We started out by looking at a platinum player who also had an okay grasp on the game, still had a long way to go, and moved all the way towards looking at some of the best FPS players around. The crazier thing is we only touched the surface at the top level of rifling. Every single day there seems to be a new clip of players reinventing the game. If you're looking for a place to start though, remember, it's all about having that mind-body connection that allows you to resist the temptations to forget all your training as you climb the ranks. So, quick recap, what did we learn? Avoid crouch spraying, take your time with your shots, and you'll start carrying in no time. And as always, we hope you learned something in this video, and thanks for following us on our journey into the 4 levels of rifling in Valorant. And from everybody here at SkillCapped, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.